now joined by Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Red Nose Day Toyota. Kyle, you were fastest in practice. I'd imagine you've adjusted to the car pretty well. How did it feel to get some laps in, and your thoughts on tomorrow night's race?
Felt really good. Was obviously optimistic about coming back and getting some laps in here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So everything felt good with the number 18 M&M's Red Nose Day Toyota Camry. Was excited to get back in, see my guys, and just kind of get the taste of all of that again. But just trying to get a feel for the seat, the car, and being back behind the wheel. It's been a while, and as far as I was concerned, it felt like everything went according to plan. And we had some decent speed and race trim, and we made some adjustments to it for that qualifying run, that mock qualifying run that we made. That it's a little different qualifying procedure here, obviously, tomorrow night. So was able to put a fast time up to get top of the sheet, but not sure everybody made that same effort. So was definitely excited to see that speed, and hopefully we can see that again tomorrow night.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start with Lee, Kenny, and then Jeff.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Welcome back, Kyle. What was the biggest adjustment initially to just getting out there? Was it the sensation of speed, or just getting your feet right, your legs right? What was it?
I would say it was just sort of the feel of the race car, and these race cars have been changing quite constantly, and with setups and things like that. So just trying to get a feel for what all was going on there, and for what I had to drive. Besides that, the seat was an adjustment for me. I'm not used to the carbon seat at all. I've never run one at a mile and a half like this, so that was a little bit of an adjustment for me. So we had to tinker with it just a little bit there through practice, and again, we're going to tinker with it now just to kind of see if we can't make it just a tick better for me, more comfortable, for the long haul, especially next week.
Kenny Bruce from NASCAR.com. Kyle, did you get here any earlier today or any later, or was there anything, were you more eager to be here, and were you thinking about getting back in the car when you woke up this morning?
I didn't sleep all that great last night, and I was wondering why. I don't know if my body was just thinking I would miss an alarm, but I really didn't have to set an alarm. I mean, it was late enough to get here. It wasn't like it was a 9 a.m. practice or anything, but I got here pretty typical when I normally do. I always get here and then eat lunch and just spend some time in the motorhome, whatnot, and then get myself to the hauler and changed and onto the car. So nothing really any different actually that I had to do today.
All right, we'll go to Bob and then Jeff Gluck.
Bob Hocker, ESPN. From the people I've talked to, it sounds like that Charlotte has kind of been your goal for a while as the race to come back. I'm curious, was there a time in the last couple months where you thought, man, no way am I going to be ready by Charlotte?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, there was days in Daytona, I was kind of counting the weeks, and I was like, man, I could probably make it back by Talladega, but that would definitely be pushing it, and I was like, well, that wouldn't be very smart of me to come back for Talladega. And then Kansas was the next one, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't know if I want that one either. So Charlotte looks really good, and obviously seems to be a good choice in coming back for here. So I think it was kind of always a goal, and whether or not I could meet that goal was just how hard we worked and pushed and tried to get ready for this day.
All right, we'll go to Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. NASCAR gave you a waiver for the races you missed, but not for the top 30 requirement. What were your thoughts on all that?
Well, I think it's great. Obviously, it gives us a legitimate chance to try to qualify for the chase and to be able to race for a championship. I mean, that's all you could ask for. It seems as though the rest of the drivers and whatnot, they're happy with the ruling. I think they would accept the same ruling for themselves if they were in that situation. But I'm ready to tackle the challenge. I know it's not quite going to be easy, but if we do the right things and make some of the right calls and try to win some of these races, I mean, we're going to have to make some gutsy calls maybe to win some, and there's going to be other guys around us that are going to be making some gutsy calls too because they've already won some. So, it's going to be catch-22 sometimes probably, but we'll see what we can do and get ourselves chase eligible and go race them in the end.
All right, we'll go to Jenna, Viv, and Tom.
Jennifer, AP, just as practice was getting ready to start, Samantha tweeted so many emotions right now. I'm wondering if you guys had a minute or two together today where it just, that like, wow, we're back, and you shared that.
Yeah, a little bit. We always, every morning, we always get up together, we eat breakfast together and whatnot, so we just kind of shared a little bit of that during breakfast. But then when I left the house, I told her to make sure she did everything the best she could to keep her legs crossed today and tomorrow, and that we keep Baby Busch inside for at least 48 more hours. But besides that, it was it was a nice moment as I was getting ready to walk out to the garage that we hugged for a little while, and just she said it's what we had was all over with having to go through all the trials and tribulations of figuring out how to stand up, how to walk, all that stuff. That's all over, and it seems as though we're back to our normal schedule, although sometimes it takes a little bit longer for me to get to point A to point B, but hopefully not too much longer. That'll be right back to where it was too.
Oh, go ahead, Viv, sorry.
Okay, Viv Bernstein, New York Times. There's more safer barriers out. I don't know if you noticed them. There's some tire packs out there that weren't there the last time you were here. Do you feel safer at all by all the news of all the tracks doing all these things?
I wouldn't say you ever feel safe in that regard, but safer, yeah. I mean, anytime a racetrack or a facility is able to elevate their level of safety for us competitors and the race fans and the crew members, we always are grateful of that. Maybe it gives us a greater sense of not being able to get hurt, but I think that aspect is still out there. I mean, we run race cars around in circles with safer barrier walls, upwards of 200 miles an hour. So there's still an element there that anything can happen. So, but NASCAR and the racetracks have done a really nice job over the last little bit to push that safety aspect for all of us competitors, and the continuation of that would only be appreciated.
Tom.
Kyle, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. What weighs more on your mind this week? Getting back in a race car at high speed for the first time, or becoming a first-time father?
I would say it goes within what you're doing. You get to the racetrack, and it definitely weighs on you getting back in that car. How's it going to be? Am I going to screw up? I felt like I got loose one time today, and I was like, just don't spin out. Just don't spin out. And then, I'm sure when I change and I start heading home, it's like, all right, things are soon to change. I mean, it's legitimate. He's here on Monday, no doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, that's, we kind of, Samantha and I, we chuckled about that last night. It's, we looked at each other and we're like, what are we going to be doing in, 72 hours at that point? And it's going to be time to be parents, he's going to be here. So we're excited though. We both are, and I am, and just hoping that the timing's right.
All right, we'll go to the left and then finish up with Reed.
Kyle, Brian Formica with WXII over here. Any worries going through your mind? I mean, after going through something like that, that's not the easiest thing to go through, and especially all the rehab and all the getting back to it. I mean, and going to be a father, is there anything that any buzzers that go off in your mind?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, taking another hard hit, sure. That definitely is in the back of your mind. How hard of a take can you withstand and not get hurt again? So that's obviously there. But that's something that we live with each and every day, even before I got hurt. How hard of a lick can I take and still walk away? But I think we found that out finally. Every man is breakable. So there's obviously a risk factor that we take, but you pray to the good Lord that He keeps you safe, and you go do your job.
Reed Smith with NASCAR Wire Service. Kyle, you're a numbers guy. Have you stopped to calculate at all, other than winning a race, what you think it's going to take to make the chase?
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, obviously you got to win one, but then I think past that you've got to average like a 15-8 or 16-1 average finish or something. So, that's how many points that is. I don't know. I think it's 30 or 40 something that you've got to be able to get by the time you get to Richmond. So certainly I've seen plenty of people that have done the numbers for me, and they all kind of come out relatively the same. So that's what I've seen.
All right, thank you for joining us, Kyle. Good
All
luck.
right, appreciate it. Thank y'all.